And nowadays we are preserving this wood and using for interior decoration, because the wood is very white color, a nice color. And the latex, they're collecting every day. They collect from, they give a alternate day, like if you collect from this tree today, not tomorrow, again day after tomorrow. And every day they collect 2 cups of latex. You see that cup, 2 cups every day. And after collecting the latex, they mix it with the formic acid and stir it well. And they got a big square tray, and they pour the latex and the acid into the tray, and they dry in the sun for 1 or 2 hours. And after drying in the sun, it becomes like a thick big block. And they got a rolling machine. They put the the mat in between the rolling machine, and they make smoke proof. It is smoke, and when it is ready, it turns to golden color. And 1 sheet is like 1 kilogram. Now the price is very high. It is like 200 rupees for 1 kilogram. Before it was like 10 years before it gone down, it was only 35 rupees. So they are a trade union everywhere. So they are a big strike. So the government supported them. And now the government is importing some synthetic rubber, like, because the price is going up. And now the tire prices are gone up. For example, I got a small scooter. Well, this morning I was riding same scooter. The small tire, 1 tire I have to pay 1,000 rupees. And the waste rubber band they use for making rubber bands. You can feel it, yeah. And you can smell it. Sometimes you get very disgusting smell. For 1 tree, the workers, he's working here, and this owner of this land, he got more than 10 acres of land like this, and he's a really rich man, so he's looking after that building. He got accommodation, and his family is living here. He got 3 small girls.
Lives here?
Yeah, lives here. And
so when I'm planting a small plant like this, it takes nearly 3 years of time to grow and give you the pepper. Yeah? The pollination agent for pepper is not bees or birds. It's totally different. Raindrops are the pollination agent. Yeah? Because there is a weed inside the pepper. I will show you a weed. This is known as actually a weed. You see this, the one which is here. This is a weed. We call it like a weed. When it is fresh, it is like a lightish yellow color for that. Yeah? So it will be arranged on a plant like 2 female, 1 male above, 2 female, 1 male above. So when the raindrops fall from the above layer to the bottom layer, it gets pollinated and gives you the pepper. Yeah? And that is the reason we can't grow pepper on wires, and we can't grow it in a horizontal way. We have to always grow it in a vertical position. Okay? So Kerala, that's why we call it as our king. Yeah? And secondly, I told you it needs a support to grow. It can grow on any trees, not only on the same tree like this, a coconut tree or a palm tree or any trees as you wish. But mainly because if you do it in the noon, because of sun rays, it can dry faster and the milk will not flow down. So we do it in the early morning. Then you can see it gives you a cup of milk like this. Within 2 or 3 hours, you get a cup of milk. And we can't say it gives you a cup of milk like that, because it depends on the tree. Maybe a person, maybe he's healthy, he can walk at a stretch for 10 kilometers. Crab, land crab, find the tiny brown color. Same like in your country, maybe if there are a lot of earthworms inside your soil, you think the soil is very good for cultivation. Yeah? Same method like that. Now if there are a lot of crab holes in the farm, the farmer knows that it is good for the farm, because
How many seeds did you get from one plant? Did you get a lot?
We can get a lot. Depends on the, that's why I told you, when you use some chemicals for a plant, it gives you the weed which it grows, it becomes more long. Maybe if you take it and coat it like this, it becomes more taller than me, the weed. So it gives a lot of seeds on it. But if you grow it naturally, without any chemicals, like organic plantation, it will not become so long. When it's from a flower to a seed like this, it takes 40 days. Same time, when the seeds are not mature now. When it is mature, it becomes black in color. Yeah. So that's why I told you it takes again 35 days. And it will not give you a good smell now. Only a little bit of smell, not a very strong smell. So then we go for the harvesting. Usually they are using women laborers for harvesting the cardamom plantation. Now if there is a 10 acres of land.
The big spiders, but they're not the biggest we've seen.
No, no.
They're not the biggest we've had running up our bedroom.
Now in your hotel here, which you saw the spider was in this hotel?
No,
no,
another one.
No, last night.
You can smell it from here.
Mm.
Is that cinnamon there?
It's going to be bug.
When it is ready to harvest, it takes 6 months, so it becomes purple color. Then we go for the harvesting, and then we go for the drying process. Same like cardamoms, here we have two methods to dry them. One, we can dry them in the direct sunlight, one we can dry it in the shaded sunlight. When we dry it in the direct sunlight, it becomes black in color. When you dry it in the shaded sunlight, it becomes brown in color. So now what do you think, which is better?
Slow process?
Sorry? Brown. Sure, that is right. Brown is the better one. The reason is same thing as I told you before. When we dry them in the direct sunlight, the complete oil inside is pulled away by the sunlight. Yeah? So only the husk is remaining. That's why it becomes black in color. When it's in the shaded sunlight, it becomes brown in color because they have oil inside. In case if you have any doubt in that, you take a black one and burn it. It will not burn. Take a brown one and burn it. It will burn for a while because there is oil inside. You can see that. You just flames like this between and burn. That's why. So brown ones are always expensive. Black ones are cheaper. We can't say it's perfect brown. Maybe like a blackish brown or brownish black. We can say like that. Yeah. And it is from which country? Cloves. The native place of cloves is from Zanzibar. Yeah. Here, and if you want to see some yellow ones, you can see there. Can you see that? Now what do you think? What is that? Can you go for a guess? It is a spice.
Nutmeg. Oh, nutmeg.
You're right. So, about nutmegs. Now, when I'm planning a small plant, it gives the maize. Yeah? So, this one, the red one. Yeah. Mainly used for bakings and mild flavors, we use maize. Yeah. And these are the nuts. So, when we dry the nutmegs, we have to dry it. When we take a nutmeg like this, sorry. So, what we do, we remove the maize from over the nutmegs and dry the maize for 4 days in the sunlight. Dry the nutmegs for 4 weeks in the sunlight. Yeah. Then I'm coming to plant like this. Yeah, it's not now just because of heavy rain we can't grow. We start just growing the plants nowadays. So, when I'm planting a small plant like this, it takes a time of nearly 4 years to grow. Then it gives you a greenish yellow color flower. Yeah. I told you before, in the case of cardamoms, maybe there are bees for pollination. For pepper, I told you there was raindrops for pollination. In the case of vanilla, there is no pollination agents. When it was in the wild, there was some hummingbirds for pollination, but nowadays it's not found much, so that's why we have to manually pollinate it. Yeah.
Chocolate, ladies.
Chocolate.
Well, cocoa bean anyway.
Sorry ma'am, you can come to the side.
Side, one side, each side.
Any side.
Hello.
Bye bye.
Hi.